Hey, I'm Jay. Today the recipe I want to share with you today is a St. Patty's Day favorite. We're doing a corned beef brisket. We've got a brisket flat right here. This is about a 3.5 pounder we got from local IGA grocery store. We're gonna cook that on Recteq 1250 using Royal Oak 100% charcoal pellets. The seasoning we're gonna use for this today is pretty simple. We're gonna use Rufus Teague steak rub and Rufus Teague spicy meat rub. If you haven't checked out the Rufus Teague rubs and sauces, I encourage you to do so. They got some really good products, and we use them at home all the time. So let's get to prepping so we can get to cooking. So let's get to prepping. First thing I'm doing here, I'm gonna take my Royal Oak charcoal pellets, just dump them in. Now I'm gonna light my Recteq 1250. I'm gonna set it 300 degrees. I like 300 degrees cooking for brisket. You can go low and slow, there's nothing wrong with that. I just like to go more hot and fast style with 300. While it's getting hot, I'm gonna open this up, start putting some seeds on it, kind of let it breathe a little bit, so get ready to put it on the grill. So first thing we notice is we don't have a lot of fat cap right here. Traditionally in a brisket, I like to have fat cap come all the way over and kind of cover the entire piece of meat, therefore I maintain moisture in there. We don't have that here. We didn't know it going into it because of the packaging the way it was. It hid the top part of this. And that's fine, we can deal with it. We just wanted to make kind of a little bit extra protection. If you get one with full fat cap, that's even better, but we can work with that. What we're gonna do is just flip it over to start with on the back side, and right in here. I'm not gonna do no trimming right here. Got a little bit of silver skin right here, but this right here will render out. I'm not worried about this at all. If I had a lot, then I might deal with that, but this little bit of silver skin right here, it'll get going on the brisket the way we're cooking it. So I'm gonna come on the back side of it. I'm gonna take Rufus Teague steak rub. I'm gonna come over pretty heavy. The black pepper and the garlic and the salt in this is gonna really kind of help give that good flavor to it. So we're gonna take it, get all sides to it. All right, I got that. I'm gonna top it with the spicy meat. The spicy meat got a little bit of spice to it, but that's all got more paprika to it. It's gonna help to give us that color we're looking for. So I'm gonna come on the side, a little bit of wind blowing here. But you see the color in it already. Kind of see the color it's got into it already. Once I do that, I'm gonna flip it over. This is gonna be my top side. I'm gonna cook it with meat with the fat cap up. So I'm gonna come across top of that and go really heavy on this. Because the black pepper in this will help me get a good bark. So I'm gonna go kind of heavy on this right here, number. One thing to remember about putting on rubs, your first rub is gonna stick better than any other rub because it's got the moisture of the meat coming through. It's gonna bind it to the meat better. Everything else put on top of it have a tendency to fall off or wash off. But that first one, they have a lot more opportunity to bite to it. So when I'm doing the rubs like that, layering it, keep that in mind. You want your main rub to be the first one you put on. Then you start adding stuff on top of it. And you see it right here, you can pretty much see it kind of just, got nothing to stick to. I can move it around and it's gonna just fold right on down. So take that in consideration. Tap it just a little bit, set it in place. We're gonna let it sit here for just a few minutes. Right now we're about 115 degrees. So about another 10 minutes, be ready to put this bad boy on. So be back in a few minutes. So the Recteq 1250 has got Wi-Fi capable. That means I can see it anywhere at Elite Barbecue Smoker headquarters as long as it's connected to my Wi-Fi system, and it is. In addition to that, it also comes with the ability to hook 2 probes to it and see that also via my phone through Wi-Fi network. So I'm gonna take one of the probes we've got here to hook it to the Recteq 1250. I want to put it in this corned beef brisket so I can put it on the grill. That way I can monitor the temperature. So I know around 160, I'm gonna get the color I'm looking for. So I'm gonna wrap it at that point in time. So therefore, I'm going to take this, put a probe in it, and put it on Recteq. We're up temperature. So let's get it cooking. So I'm gonna go in kind of at an angle. I'm gonna try to stay about middle ways this meat. So we're gonna take this, put it in there. Remember, I got the fat cap up. The season's on both sides right here. I focused right here heavy with my pepper. If you pat it right now, you can see the sweat of that meat's kind of brought it out and it binds that rub to that piece of meat. So I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna use this spatula I got from Grill Grate, and I'm gonna open it up, put it right on there. Come right here in the middle. And this right here's got a little hole on the side. Pop it through. Plug it in port A. Shut it down. We cooking. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, leave in the comment section down below. Also subscribe to it, turn the notification bell on. That way it can notify you new videos coming out. They will come out on a weekly basis. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Don't forget TikTok. So we'll get back to cooking, but some kind of little plug. Appreciate y'all watching. Let's get back to cooking. So our brisket has been in the Recteq 1250. Okay, it's got an internal temperature reading by the probe of 160 degrees. So we're gonna take it out, put it on tinfoil, and wrap it up so we can get maintain some moisture in there. In addition to that, earlier in the video I stated I was concerned about the lack of fat cap on top of brisket. I said it was a little bit something that I wouldn't normally want to cook, but I didn't know it because of the packaging the way it was. To combat that, I'm actually going to add some beef tallow. So this is some Wagyu beef tallow we've got from competition briskets. When we trim it up, I take that fat and I render it out in a pot. I usually keep a couple of jars of these around the house because they're really good for different dishes we do. So I'm going to take this, add a little bit to it, kind of get it to top up some moisture, so I add some moisture back into the meat. So with that being stated, let's pour this bad boy out the grill, let's wrap her up and put it back in there. So let's get started. Hot potato, hot potato, hot potato. So I'm gonna take it here, I'm gonna double wrap it. So before I do that, I'm gonna take some of this. And I usually keep these in jars, like I said, I keep room temperature. It's very safe to do that. I'm just gonna take a little bit and just dribble some on top of it. You can already see it rendering out. You see how the clearness of it right there. It's already hit that meat and it's just started rendering right out. It's kind of went from the room temperature to the hot meat and it just got a clear fat that's added a lot of flavor to a piece of meat. I'm gonna wrap it up this way. That, turn it 90 degrees and double wrap it. I'm gonna take this, give them a probe, go back into it a little bit. I'm gonna put it right back on the grill. So I start checking my brisket for tenderness. We could probably run about 208 to 212, somewhere in that neighborhood. But what I'm looking for, not so much temperature, I'm looking for feel. So I got Thermopin right here. If you don't have one of these, you really need to get a Thermopin. But I take one of these and what I'm looking for, I'm gonna probe that brisket. When I probe that brisket, I want it to feel like I'm going into room temperature butter. But when I do that, I know I've got the tenderness I'm looking for. If I have to push that thing in, push the probe in, if I have to take the probe and push it in hard, my brisket ain't done. It's gonna be tough. So I wanna kind of, like I said, cook it till I got it, so this goes in like room temperature butter, and therefore I know I've gotten to the texture I'm looking for. So we'll keep cooking it. We'll keep checking about every 30 minutes or so. When we start hitting around 203, I'll start paying close attention to it as far as feel. But right now, we're gonna keep cooking. So back in a few minutes. All right, so our temperature, our probe is telling us here we're at 205. We'll just take it out here. I wanna check for tenderness in here. Let's check it, take it out and see what we got. And it's very hot still. Hot potato, hot potato. You ought to learn by now, don't you? Looks good, don't it? Tell you what, that bad boy there looks good. When I'm pushing into it, I'm still feeling some resistance. It ain't quite there yet. It's still a little tight. So when I want to go through it, I want to go through it kind of like it's almost a weighted probe will push it in. So I'm gonna close this back up, set this back in the smoker, and let it keep cooking. I know I wasn't quite there yet, but I was just going to give you an idea of the texture. So I'm expecting around 208 to 212 we'll start hitting that break point. Reading temperature, reading inside is 209. So we should be about where we need to be at. So we're gonna pull this out, check it real quick. If we might need to go back in, we'll find out. So let's take it out. And I put gloves on this time. So my gloves here are some latex gloves underneath some cotton gloves. That way I can handle the hot stuff. and I'm trying to find a different color than blue, but right now we're trying to do the Smurfs proud. So I'm gonna take the probe right here, a little bit tight, still a little bit tight, feels good there. So she's still a little tight, we're gonna put it back in and keep cooking. Right back in the middle. Normally on a brisket, choice brisket, prime briskets and something like this, you're probably looking around, it starts hitting 208 and starts kind of go through like a second stall. And then probably around about 210 to 212 is the experience they usually have when they start breaking and start getting tender. So exactly what I expected to do is doing what I wanted to do. And me pulling it out and checking it, it's kind of also kind of just stalling it some more because it's introducing some cold air to it. So what I'm doing is keep checking it because I don't want to overcook it. I don't want it to fall apart. But at the same time, me doing that, it's kind of slowing it down a little bit. But that's fine. So I just want to keep cooking until, like I said, I'll get that tenderness I'm looking for. That's the only thing I'm interested in right now with this, is just the tenderness. So I got this thing cooking, so be that in a few minutes. Okay, it's been about another 10 minutes. We'll pull off and check it again. We should be about where we want to be this time. So let's see what we got. Yeah, we tender now. A little bit of resistance in there. See, it just rolls right through. So I'm gonna let this kind of set just a few minutes, let it kind of calm down, let the juices kind of soak back into the brisket, and then we'll slice it up, see what it tastes like. We'll be right back. So that's how you cook a corned beef brisket, Lee barbecue smoker style. So as you've seen, we took this corned beef brisket we got from the local grocery store. We used seasoning we used today on it, Rufus Teague steak rub, and Rufus Teague spicy meat rub, the two rubs we put on here. We cooked it in the Recteq 1250 using 100% royal oak charcoal pellets. We got to about 160 degrees. We wrapped it in tin foil. We added some Wagyu beef tallow we had, get a little more moisture into it, and let it cook. Around 205, we started checking it. We pulled it off, it was right around 210, 212. That's the temperature we got in here for the texture we're looking for this. We want kind of a probe so there's a tenderness going through there. So we want to slice this thing up, and then we want to taste it and see what it tastes like. First things first, you want to look at the grain. So the grain in this is running this direction. So I'm slicing it, I want to slice across the grain. So just another kind of flip it over and make sure we're going to cut it correctly. We'll put it on the cutting board. Just take a knife and cut it right down this. You just see how easy it's cutting. A little bit of elasticity to it. Pulls good, but you look at the color. Look at the color right there. Look at the moisture that thing's got. That thing, you can't beat that right there, moisture. It's in there. A little bit of tug to it. Tastes as bad. What's it taste like? Good corned beef brisket. Be bad to put on a Rueben right there, man. That's good. That's really good. If you like corned beef brisket, you're talking mouthful. A really good flavor to it, good texture to this. It's not as tender as I would normally have a brisket to be, because I know I'm gonna slice this like in deli slices, make Rueben sandwiches. So I don't want it to have the bend over factor, because then I can't cut it that thin. I want to have a little bit more texture to it than what I would normally have on regular brisket. So I'll make slices out of it. So I make Ruben's different sandwiches. That's what we're looking for with this brisket. And that's why we're cooking it this way. It's got a good flavor to it. It's got corned beef, the Rufus Teague steak rub, Rufus Teague spicy meat rub just kind of adds another level to it. The Wagyu tallow just kind of puts that moisture back into it. It just makes it just stand out. I mean, it's really good. If you like corned beef brisket and you want to have Rueben sandwiches, try this one. It's a really good recipe to go with. I'm not disappointed in this at all. Like I said, it's not a traditional brisket we do competition. It's corned beef brisket. So we're gonna put this back in the juice, carry inside and make sandwiches, but we gotta find Dolly. She ran off. So we're getting ready to go inside and eat supper. Before we do it, we'll say the blessing. But first, we're gonna let Dolly try it. Dolly, you ready for this? Are you ready? Girl, you ready for this brisket? Come on. You really gotta start chewing this, Dolly. You're not getting the full effect of it. All right, one more piece. Oh, you missed it. I swear she does it on purpose. Or I can't throw one or two. Come on, see it? So Dolly liked it. I reckon if Dolly liked it, you will too. Thank you for watching our videos. If you like it, leave a like button down below. Got any questions, comments, leave in the comment section down below. Also, please share our videos on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We got new videos posted every week. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. We greatly appreciate that. So that being said, let's say the blessing and go eat some supper. Lord, bless food by receiving. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank y'all for watching. Keep smoking.